Erkki is, as I said before, a theorist, writer, and critic, and some of you could, the ones who were on the opening, saw him criticizing or raising questions about the works, and I guess had quite an experience. And he's based in Tartu. Tartu is the second biggest town in Estonia, and right now he's actually doing his doctoral degree in general linguistics, but has been studying semiotics, and is a master of semiotics. So here you go.
Current trends in Estonian underground experimental art. Experimental, much less underground experimental art is not a coherent phenomenon.
Can you hear him?
Can you hear me?
Not very well.
Okay.
You can take a mobile microphone.
This one?
Yes, they should be working.
Is it working? Yes. And the point is that a truly experimental art is defined negatively by what is excluded from conventional art and not by some set of positive features. And the main reason for this is that as soon as something is regarded as a positive feature of experimental art, it risks of being conventionalized and being ultimately incorporated in conventional art. And conventional art, of course, is defined by a set of positive features. For instance, by a set of examples from art history, which build up the canon of conventional art. But at the same time, experimental art has, of course, its own traditions. And if we are to take the meaning of the word experiment seriously, these historical examples have to be rejected as guidelines for contemporary experimental art, because experimental art has to be defined negatively. Thus, it is exceedingly difficult to find historically and typologically novel ideas for experimental works of art. And as it is increasingly difficult, the demand for novel experimental art ideas is extremely high, which is a special motivator for underground experimental art, which is expected to articulate novel ideas, which is of course increasingly difficult and valuable because of this difficulty. Underground experimental art is thus a result of a double exclusion, excluded from both conventional and historical, that is to say, established experimental art. As soon as experimental art is established, it becomes historical. It's perhaps not exactly so with conventional art. But, as I said, experimental art has to be defined negatively all the time. Now we're getting to some examples. As a phenomenon and as a scene, Estonian underground experimental art is both incoherent and underdocumented. only a fraction of it is visible and can be viewed here. There are some selected examples. When I play videos, there will be only excerpts of the original videos. And of course the quality of the documentation is poor, because there is not much attention paid to documentation of this kind of phenomena. First off, we go to the X group, which has a mailing list, which is X list. And I'll just play some music by the members of this group while talking. Starting from spring 206, the part of Estonian underground experimental art is documented in this list, here and others. And even a smaller part of it is produced by the group itself. And some selected happenings and performances by X. There are some pictures. The hour of Beldikson, which is a journey into a deserted building in the center of Tartu, which was conceived as a photo shoot, but turned out quite irrelevant to the point, I think. Here is this the journey of Beldikson. Some slides of this house and a view from the house. And, of course, there were some costumes. The point was if you are going to go through all the town with dressed like this, with your underpants pulled over your coat and a shirt, a teared up shirt put over your coat. That's a challenge of its own. Then the second event, a performance which was called the full concept. It's bullish. Here is only an advertisement of it. Then we have, if we have something else, it's the relocation of the owl, which was an event where an owl, it was of course a stuffed owl, was returned to the woods in the outskirts of Tartu, an owl which was originally in a